Hello, you lovely people out there. So, I am in my practice today and I just have a couple of minutes free time until my next client arrives. And we're gonna work on a couple of issues regarding fear of riding. And I was just thinking that there are so many people out there, equestrians namely, who are so full of guilt and shame because they just can't ride the way they would want to. And so I thought I'd just do a quick video talking about this and maybe answering some questions you might have. So let me put this straight. There is nothing to be ashamed of when you are afraid, because you are in such good company. There are so many people out there, so many equestrians that are tremendous horseback riders who have ridden most of their lives, are so knowledgeable when it comes to horses, and yet they get afraid when riding. I've worked with professional equestrians who ride, they compete on an international level in jumping, for instance, or dressage, and they are knowledgeable riders, and still nothing can prevent you from getting afraid after a bad injury, for instance, or, like a very traumatic accident you had with your horse. So there's nothing really to be ashamed of. And I know that there are many equestrians out there, on the other hand, that believe that you are only afraid when you don't know what you're doing. And that's absolutely not true. It's not correct. I mean, it's just not true. So don't let it get to you. It doesn't mean that you aren't skillful. It doesn't mean that you aren't a good horse person or whatever. It just only means that you have one problem and you can overcome the problem. I mean, fear is something that you've learned, and there's no reason in the world whatsoever why you couldn't unlearn how to be afraid of riding your horse. It's just possible. So I want you to believe that, because it's true. And the other thing is guilt. Most people I work with tell me that they feel so guilty. They are ashamed and guilty because they think that their horse deserves better. Their horse deserves an equestrian that can canter with them or can go on a trail ride or whatever. And, let me ask you this. Do you really think that your horse would rather be with another person? Probably not. I mean, your horse can be happy even though you are afraid of, cantering, or you are afraid of jumping. Jumping doesn't make a horse happy, I would say. There are other things that matter more to a horse, and that is he or she with other horses? Does he or she have access to fiber all day? Is there a place to roam, to run, and stuff like that? So I bet if you care about your horse is in very good hands, and there's nothing to be ashamed or guilty of. That doesn't mean that you can't overcome your fear and you have to stick to what it's like now. No, of course you don't. You can change that. And if you don't know how to change that, well, there's people you can ask. Me, for instance. I would be happy to help you when you feel you want that help. So, that's all I have to say for now. So don't be ashamed. Don't feel guilty, because there's nothing to be ashamed of or feel guilty for. And now I'm gonna proceed and see my next client, and I wish you a wonderful day. Bye.